I want to point out a couple of things. First of all, this notion that Obamacare is the law. It's true, it is the law. It was passed by Congress in the years before I got here. I want to point, this is called the calendar of business. This is the executive calendar. Basically, every single bill that's in here is an effort to change existing law, for the most part. That's what we do around here. That's what the legislative process is about. Virtually every bill that is filed is either an effort to create a new law, but usually it's an effort to change existing law. So if we begin to argue around here that once something is existing law, it can never be changed, well, we might as well close up shop, because that's what we do. That's what the legislative process is about. The second point that was made was that this law will prevent people from having health insurance. That is not true. Now, let me say this. Number one, I am in favor of people having health insurance, and I do think that we cannot ignore the health insurance problem that this country faces. Number two, admittedly, I am in favor of repealing Obamacare and replacing it with a better alternative. That's not what this bill does. All this bill says, this is the only thing it says. The only thing it says is that you cannot enforce the individual mandate, that you cannot tell people next year that we will fine you, that the IRS is going to impose a fine on you. You will not be able to do that until the website is fully working. In terms of this preventing people from getting health insurance, that's simply not accurate. This doesn't prevent anyone from going onto the website and signing up. If the bill that I am proposing is adopted, it wouldn't keep anybody from signing up for health insurance under Obamacare. The only thing it would keep is the IRS from fining you if you're unable to do it. And the reason why that makes sense is because the way we're supposed to do it on a website simply isn't working. So it's just not accurate to say that this will somehow prevent people from buying health insurance. It doesn't. It doesn't prohibit you from trying to get it on the website. It's just a recognition that the website's not working well, and there's a consequence to it. The consequence to it is that if they can't get these websites up and running, there are people that will not be able to buy health insurance, and they're going to get fined for it. That doesn't sound fair to me. So while I continue to want to repeal Obamacare, I think for the good of our people, it's unfair to continue to hold over the head the threat of an IRS fine when the method of compliance that we're asking them to follow isn't fully functioning. And that's all that this would do. And I would point out that this is not a theoretical concern. I want to read, I get letters and emails every day, but I want to read one that I got, and I'll paraphrase it. It's from Barbara in Ruskin, Florida. She's 63-year-old. She tried to apply to the health insurance marketplace on October 1st. As of the writing of this email, she's no further along. She sought the services of a certified navigator on the 14th of October. After spending hours online trying to get an account established and making the application, the navigator put her on speakerphone. After many hours, finally assisted her in making an application. She was told that she would receive additional information via email. 10 days later, she had still heard nothing. She's worried because she's currently covered, but that is being terminated at the end of the year because of Obamacare. It's going to end on the 31st, and according to the information provided to her, she has to be enrolled in another insurance plan or she's going to face the fine. This is just one example. I could go on and on. I don't want to burden the time of the Senate, but there are thousands upon thousands of people that are dealing with this problem. Here's the last point I would make. I have now heard on a number of occasions the administration say that with full confidence that by the end of this coming month, that by the end of November, the websites will be up and running. If that is true, if that's true, then there's no reason to be against my bill. If in fact you are so confident that the websites are going to be up and running by the end of November, then this problem will be taken care of. If in fact you are right and the websites are going to be up and running at the end of November, then the mandate will be back in effect. The only thing my bill does is says, as long as the website is not working and until it is working, you cannot enforce the Obamacare mandates on people through a fine from the IRS. That's it. That's all it says. And that's why I think this makes all the sense in the world, and I am surprised that we somehow believe that we should continue to hold the penalty over people's heads when the way that we're asking them to comply with the law, by the admission of the administration, by the admission of the Secretary today, is simply not working well enough. So I hope that in the days to come, my colleagues will reconsider, because I think our people, irrespective of how you feel about Obamacare, I think our people deserve better. To that end, I would read to you one email I got from someone who actually supports Obamacare. Nicholas in Palm Bay, Florida, wrote an extensive email. He talked about how he submitted an application through the website. It took hours to complete web issues. They finally finished the application 23 days later. The application is still in progress, but it won't let him go any further to choose the insurance. And so while he does not agree with me about defunding Obamacare or repealing Obamacare, he agrees with me that we should suspend the individual mandate penalty until this website thing is fixed. So I think there are a lot of people that are going to feel that way. And I think there are a lot of people that would be shocked that the government is going to punish them for not buying insurance when the website that they're being sent to buy it on doesn't work. And again, I think that is a common sense approach. I'm surprised that there's objection to it. I suppose I shouldn't be, but I am. And I hope that in the days and weeks to come that my colleagues will reconsider, because in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of many Americans, it's simply unfair. With that, Mr. President, I would suggest the absence of a quorum.